Hello everyone, and welcome to the Dice Commando YouTube channel. I'm Andrew, with you here as always. This is the Commando News Network, where we cover news, updates, and happenings from around the world of gaming and other related areas. This video and others like this one are possible thanks to viewers like you. Please show your support with a like and subscribe, and be sure to hit the bell notification icon so you don't miss any new videos. If you want to get involved with the channel, consider becoming a channel member. There are many benefits to channel membership, including access to our Discord, exclusive deck tech and strategy videos, and the opportunity to help create channel content. I want to sincerely thank all our channel members, as I truly couldn't do this without your support. You guys rock. Go Commando. Hello everyone, welcome to Dice Commando and the Commando News Network. Today is January 29th, 2021, and wow, one heck of a week we have here. So the biggest news that we're affected with, you would usually think is releases, but it's not actually. Earlier today we got the announcement from the folks over at Argent Saga that they're done. They're hanging up their hat. COVID kicked them to the curb, so we'll talk about that. Also want to make sure we hit on the fact that, Kaldheim's being released this weekend, right? So it's hitting Arena, and you can get pre-release kits this weekend. That's huge. We have news from Flesh and Blood, of course. We have some rules changes, just a slight change there, and they're doing some pilot stuff at the Calling this weekend on kind of some new tournament procedures there. So we'll talk about that for sure. Star Wars Destiny, of course, huge week there with the set release, Redemption. And actually not much for Legion, but we'll talk on that a bit because the silence there is actually important. So about 5 hours ago from when I am shooting this, we had the announcement hit Argent Saga on their Facebook page. I haven't even gone and looked on their main site to see if they have anything up. I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't, because they don't really update that website very consistently, but you never know. So for years, ARG has worked to create our very own TCG, but 8 months after launch, COVID hit, blada, blada, blada. So we understand many of you still want to enjoy the game, so we're going to leave stuff open. Players will still be able to redeem their shard points until they expire on the 31st of September 2021, which is not that far away. After February's loot box, all official Argent Saga products and events are hereby canceled. So, obviously it's disappointing and it's a bummer, but I don't think it's really all that surprising. I think a lot of us maybe thought that they were going to get one more expansion out of them and say, hey, this is going to be our last expansion or whatever. But I don't think it's surprising anybody. I don't know the numbers, but it didn't seem that their last set was selling very well. Especially as Flesh and Blood was picking up. It started to steal a lot of people from just everywhere, and Argent had a tough road in front of them, and then they with the loot crate thing, they kind of burned a lot of bridges there, I think. So it's really unfortunate. I'm always going to have a lot of good memories of this game, playing it with Mike and all of my other friends, and having debates on what was broken and what was more broken and how broken was okay to be broken, and so on, right? So, and very beautiful card game, and the art was incredible. I'll probably even keep some of the playmats in the long run. So that's the news for Argent Saga. Sad news, but I think we all kind of saw it coming. So for Argent Saga, the biggest news, of course, was that last week we actually got the sell sheet release for Monarch. So we know when spoiler season is going to start. We have all of the normal sell sheet type details. We don't really have much more than that. We already knew the Blitz decks were coming, however, in what form. So that's very exciting. And there's been a lot of everybody wants to talk about speculation of what stuff might be it or whatever. And that's there's a lot of casts out there you can do that on. But the numbers are what they are, and what's the most exciting thing for us from a news standpoint is actually getting dates. So that's very exciting. We also did have a rule update this week on the 23rd of January on Iron Song Response. So now remember, Iron Song Response was originally ruled. What the card does is it has reprise. So if your opponent hasn't played a card, reprise doesn't do anything, right? It only triggers. So because this card just has reprise, it was ruled that because this card doesn't do anything, you can't play it if your opponent hasn't responded, hasn't defended. So what they're doing is they're changing it, and they're saying you can now play the card, it just doesn't do anything, right? Which I think is the right play, or the right move. It makes a lot more sense to be able to, because there's no reason you can't technically play the card, it just doesn't do anything, right? So I don't. I think the rule before was more confusing, and even though like in the back end on the game, like it stinks to be able to now play a card that gives you no benefit. So it was kind of a safety valve before, but I think fundamentally for consistency in the rules, this was probably the right answer. So this weekend also is the Calling Auckland, and what they're doing is they're doing a pilot, for lack of a better term, on some of their rules policies, tournament policies. The two big there's three of them, but the two big ones are the end of match procedure and concessions. So for end of match procedure, when time is called in the round and there is no winner yet, the current player completes their turn. Instead of doing the 0, 1, 2, 3 that it used to be before, it's now whoever's there finishes, and if there's no winner, doesn't matter what the delta is, doesn't matter anything else. If you're not done, it's a draw. So that's a very interesting. We'll see how that plays out. I think some people like it. I think some people don't. There's certainly pluses and minuses in both directions. As for concessions, this is the one that for me personally, I'm not too sure I get. But basically, if you as a player concede at any point after sitting down and starting play, basically, if you concede, you're dropped from the tournament. So that's very interesting. The clear reason of why they would do it is for team play, right? To discourage people strategically moving their teammates into favorable positions with deck matchups throughout the tournament. Makes complete sense as to why. However, if there's nothing that stops me from just saying, okay, I'm going to lose, and just stop defending, and then sitting there and losing. And it just seems like it seems like there's probably a better way to do it. But like we said, this is just a pilot program. They'll try it out this weekend, and we'll see how it goes. I certainly like the effort of trying to discourage team play or some other less than scrupulous type activity. But you also don't want to punish somebody who's been there for 7 rounds and they just sit down and they get wizarded out and they know that they're gonna lose. Why make them sit there for 15 minutes and lose slowly? So there's certainly a push-pull there. And then last, they just defined rule of the head judge as a first responder, right? Most of the time, right, the head judge won't be the one that responds, but in cases where there's multiple things happening, sometimes it does. So they just kind of defined that policy a little bit. So we'll see how we'll see what the result of those, changes are this weekend, if they have any problems, and we'll see what the changes are going forward permanently. So for Magic the Gathering, I don't think it comes as a surprise to anybody that Kaldheim has released on Magic Arena this weekend. So there's going to be a ton of games played with that set within the next 72 hours. And last time with Zendikar, we saw errata by Monday or Tuesday of the next week. I don't know if that's the case, if that will be the case here, but the point was we'll get a lot of reps. Now, pre-release kits are available this weekend. I know Gongai has some still available if you're interested in that. So the paper set, or the set will release formally in paper in a little bit. But yeah, you're going to get to actually get reps with the new cards, and that's very exciting. So the big news from Star Wars Legion is, again, kind of in true fashion, it's no real news. Now, that's not an entire true statement, but we had a couple things happen. There are product delays. The stuff that was supposed to be out, the specialists, the clone and droid specialists were supposed to be out this month. They're not coming out this month. They are delayed. Unfortunately, some people out there do have them, which is making the delays even worse, because it's one of the typical FFG things where it's only delayed in certain part of the world. So it is what it is. So we've also seen delays on a bunch of their other products, which means that basically we're seeing a delay cascade. So I'm sure it will take significant time before this is all cleared up and they get back on what their original schedule was going to be. So that is unfortunate. Oh, and the good news, though, we did have an announcement that February 3rd, there will be a stream on AMG's Atomic Mass Games. Remember, they're taking over the game. They're going to be doing a stream addressing all of their Star Wars games. I believe it's at 1 p.m. Pacific time, because remember, they're in Seattle, 1 p.m. Pacific time, and they'll be talking about all of their Star Wars games, and that's over on their Twitch channel. And of course, last but certainly not least, big week for Star Wars Destiny. We've had spoilers flying around all week, and finally, last night, it actually kind of got dropped a little early on the DB, but last night / this morning, depending on your location, Set 12 Redemption was released. This set is nothing short of a beautiful, beautiful set. There are a ton, like the deck building options are just through the roof. The field is going to be wide open, I think, for several weeks while people get it figured out, and then while people get the counters. This is very exciting. We've been pulling in people who haven't been, playing Destiny in a while. They're back. It's very, very exciting. Please make sure to head on over to Renewed Hope's website. You can get all the cards there, check them out, and have a good time theory crafting. All right, so lots of news for a pretty big week and a little bit from last week. So again, thanks for joining me again. If you have any questions, comments, please put them in the comments below, and we will make sure to address them. But if nothing else, guys, go Commando.